Welcome to North Star Credit Union's Financial Compass podcast, guiding you towards financial wellness. Hometown values, lifelong relationships, worldwide access.
All right. Welcome back to the pod. It's great to have you here again today on Friday, Financial Fridays, North Star Credit Union's Financial Compass. We are very excited today. We have another guest, as you can see. Our guest today really needs no introduction. Stephanie Burkhardt. Stephanie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So this is the first time we've had four of us on the show. So this is also a first. But Stephanie, great to have you. Stephanie, you've been in lending a long time. Been with North Star how many years?
Almost 17.
17. And another financial previous to that. So she's a pro. She's our pro. We love having her here at the credit union. A big part of our identity, our image. So many people have worked with Stephanie. She's taught me everything I know. So super excited to have her on the podcast today. She's our VP of lending and does so many of our mortgages here. And many of our listeners or viewers have probably worked with Stephanie. So our focus today is going to be around mortgages, mortgage lending. We have a few questions for Stephanie. First of all, Stephanie, you've been in lending for a long time. What is something that's drawn you into lending, or what do you really like about it?
I grew up wanting to be a banker. Who does that? I don't know, but I did. I loved to play with the cash register as a kid and, play with money. So that was my start. So I went to school for banking and got a finance degree with an emphasis in banking. And that led me to, working. This is my third financial institution since 1997. I've been in banking. So,
wow.
And I love it. My favorite part is the people and the people interaction. I love meeting with people, and I love the lending side, being able to help people make their dreams come true with a house loan.
That's awesome, because so many people, that is like a big dream for so many to own their own home, and to be able to be a part of making that dream come true has got to be just awesome. It just feels great.
It is. And I mean, we're really successful here at the credit union in making things work for people. We get very creative in making things work. We'll work with some people we work with for a year or two, trying to repair their credit or things to be able to get to that point where they can purchase a house and get a mortgage. So it's very rewarding in that respect.
I was just going to say, and you often say that it's local, fast decision making. So you're making those decisions locally in-house.
We are, yes. That's a great benefit we have here at the credit union is we have multiple kinds of loans. So we can't make the decisions on every single type of loan. There's certain government products, VA loans, FHA loans, and things that the underwriting is done outside of the credit union. But for the most part, all of our conventional and our in-house products, we can make that decision. And a lot of times, maybe people don't fit in the box, but we have a good relationship with them. And they've been members forever, so we'll make it work.
Yeah, and that's, I think, the cool thing about a credit union is just having that relationship, and like you said, for months or even if it takes a year or two, teaching them and working with them to better their credit and really their lives then, because it does matter, I think, a lot. I had a question for you. What are people most interested in right now when it comes to mortgages?
Yeah. I would say, honestly, probably one of our hottest products right now is the home equity line of credit. And the reason for that is interest rates have been high now for 2+ years. So people are not wanting to move and buy a new house and lose out on their very good interest rate that they have on their existing house loan. So, rates for so many years were in the 3% range, and people don't want to lose that. So they are, instead of moving, a lot of people are making improvements and additions to houses and things like that they're financing with a home equity line of credit, which is a nice product because it's a variable rate. So everyone's praying that rates are going to start to come down, and then their rate would instantly start to come down when that happens.
So people aren't locked into a rate when they do the HELOC.
Yeah,
correct. Nope, they're not locked. It's variable, and they're only paying interest on what they have drawn. So it's a really nice product. They can pay interest-only payments. They can pay principal payments, pay it down. It's very flexible. So I would say that's probably our most popular product right now. But we are still doing a lot of mortgages as well, mostly purchases. A lot of first-time home buyers that aren't in a current mortgage where they want to move that rate. So we're still doing a lot of those, but the HELOCs are probably one of our more popular right now.
What are some of the things that people can use HELOCs for?
You know what? There's no restrictions on those, which is great. So we don't depict what they use the funds for, so they can really use it for anything. The majority are home improvements, other life changes, kids going to college and they need to help them, some debt consolidation, people going on the trip of a lifetime. There's a lot of things. We don't restrict it at all, but we just usually hear what they want the funds for, and home improvements is probably the biggest, or debt consolidation. So.
I have a friend that's a single mom that has a lot of different debt in a lot of different places, and so I had told her about doing a HELOC, and so that was a really great option for her to be able to get into one payment versus having several different payments with a lot of different interest rates. Actually, send her your way, Steph.
Yes, they're great. I mean, excellent. Like I said, they only have to pay interest, so those payments are very low. However, we encourage people to pay principal on those as well, because they don't want to only pay on interest. But it's so flexible. It's nice over Christmas time when people don't have a lot of extra funds that they can just pay interest only. And then, in the months where they're not having big expenses, then they can pay extra towards the principal. So they're just so flexible and very well received.
It's a great product too, because it can just exist. You can have this line of credit and you don't have to use it. Or say you've paid off your balance and it can still sit there and you can still draw on it. So I think that's another nice thing too, is it's not something, if you don't use it, you're not going to be paying any interest, but it'll be there if you need it. And so that's another thing, like you can get set up with a HELOC, maybe use it right away, but then maybe for the next, 3 years or so, it sits there if you need it, which is another nice thing. And
that is awesome.
Yeah, if you're not using it, you're not paying it.
Yeah, cool.
Let's talk about rates, because I do think this is always sort of like an interesting thing for people and for our listeners. We'd love to hear from Stephanie, who's really always on top of rates and has to know. So Stephanie, do you feel like you mentioned there was a time when we were at 3%? Do you think we're ever going to go back to that, or what do you sort of foresee the future looking like, or what's just your thoughts on rates at this point?
Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see those. We have some loans on the books in the high twos. I don't think we're ever going to see that again, honestly. I do think rates will come down slightly from where they're at over the next year or so. But I think this is a new normal, that people have to expect rates in the 6 to 7% range, and that's the new norm. I wish they would get back down. We have a lot of people that we would be busy refinancing right now. But I think that historically, if you look at rates over time, since I've been in lending, rates have been low. But you look back into the early 80s and stuff where they were in the high teens, we're actually still really good right now when rates are in that 7% range. So I feel like it's kind of the new norm. I think they will come down slightly from where they're at, but not back down to those 3% that we saw.
We were just talking to a member the other day and he's like, do you remember what gas cost when you first started driving? And I was like, I think it was $2 a gallon or something like that. Things like that. They won't be back, but
seems like rates are going that same way. Yeah, a bag of Doritos. It used to be $2. Yeah, everything is and rates are falling now. Where we might not see the 1.99 on your car loan anymore. Those were the days.
That wasn't that long ago either.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to buy a house where they just are I see this house, I want to buy it, do they call you to make an appointment? They walk in, and then how do they get started? Where is the starting point when somebody's interested in buying a house?
Sure. So most realtors require a borrower to be pre-approved before they will even show them homes.
Okay.
So we get the call typically before people even are, have a house picked out or whatnot. They just need to get an approval letter for their realtor to shop. And so typically we'll get that initial call. And then from there, it's really however the customer wants to handle it. They can come in and meet with me and we can go over all the options, bring in their documents. A lot of borrowers I never meet, especially the out of town people that are buying a lake home up here. We do everything, via email and secure messaging and whatnot. But basically the process is I give them a list of documents that are needed, which are typical income documents, asset documentation. If they have other homes they own, property, we need information on that. So I give them that initial list of what we need. I collect that information, and then if they're ready to go ahead with it, then I will pull credit and basically do all their calculations for debt to income and what they can afford. So then from there, I will give them an idea of this is the range and kind of the max of what you could afford. There are a lot of factors that go into, that, credit being one of the main ones as far as what they would be able to get for an interest rate. So the property itself also is variable because taxes on different properties can vary quite a bit, and insurance. But for the most part, I give them a really good range. So then I can give them an approval letter to go shopping that says they're approved to purchase up to this dollar amount, and then they can shop with their realtor, and as soon as they have an agreed upon purchase agreement, I get that, and then start the process of appraisal, title work, and everything from there.
Wow.
What does it look like right now when you say that they usually have to come in before they're shopping? Is the market really fast? Like, do they need to be on it?
I think it's cooled down a little bit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
We're seeing more inventory out there. More properties are sitting on the market for longer. So it's not as fast and furious as it was maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. At that point, people had to get approved and basically jump on a property, and most of them, were selling immediately. So you had to be really ready to sign a purchase agreement right away. Now I think it's cooled off a little bit, so it's not as competitive, but they still need to get that approval letter to even look at homes for most realtors. So
okay. So now, how do people contact you if they just have questions that they want to ask before they even go about talking to a realtor? Like if they just want to ask you some questions about the HELOC, how does somebody get a hold of you, Stephanie?
Yeah, they can call me. 218-666-4026 is my number. Or they can email me, or we have on our website, they can put in a general inquiry as well that is blasted out to the entire loan department. So if they're looking for just general questions on any type of loan, it doesn't even have to be a mortgage, but they can just put a general question, and one of us loan officers will get back to them. Yeah, calling, emailing, through our website, secure messaging. There's a lot of different ways. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, and our website is northstarcreditunion.org, right?
You got
it. .org.
And I guess I have a question, Stephanie. After you work with somebody, what's it like to see them finally have their dream home or their dream cabin or the land that they've always wanted? What does that feel like from your standpoint?
Yeah, that's so rewarding. And I get a lot of people that they're so thankful. They send us thank you cards. And I mean, they are just so thankful that we're really good at walking them through the process. So to make it easy for them, they shouldn't have any worries throughout this entire process. We tell them what we need. And as we go, if we need more information, there's no surprises in our lending, which I do know for a fact. We get some institutions end up telling people they can do the loan, and then last minute they're coming to us because there's a surprise, and especially bigger institutions, they can't finance an island property or boat access property, and those people were upfront with the lender at that time, but they're not familiar to some of those bigger institutions. So then when it gets down to the final underwriting, they're denied, and they're supposed to close in 2 weeks. So then they come our way. And those are the people that are really thankful that we're here because we still can make it happen and close on time. And we prefer to have a little more than 2 weeks, but we can make it happen. So
awesome. So the loan department, there's several of ladies and gentlemen standing by to help you if you have any questions, or even if you're like, ooh, I'm ready, then contact North Star Credit Union.
Yeah, Stephanie, I feel like we've been drilling you with questions and kind of controlling everything. I just want to give you the opportunity. I mean, what would you want to say or speak to our listeners or viewers, just with your experience and knowledge in lending? any sort of advice or something that you would want to say to people in general?
Yeah. I mean, just starting the process early, before you're maybe just thinking about it. It's nice to come in and we can have chats, because there are certain things that maybe need to be done before you can actually go ahead and get approved. As far as some people who don't have established credit, we can help them get credit. If they don't have a score at all, we can help them build credit by opening a share secured loan, opening a small credit card, things like that will enable them to build a credit score within 6 months. So if to those people that don't have any credit, maybe never had a loan or never had anything fresh out of college or whatnot, start early, because we can help you build credit. But if you come to me and you want to buy a house that next day with no credit, it's not possible. So I guess starting early is the big thing, because we have a lot of advice to give to people, especially in those situations where they don't have credit. And yeah, just knowing we provide great service. So come see any one of us. There's 3 mortgage lenders here, and then Drew himself is starting doing HELOCs. So he's a good resource for that as well. So we have a good lending team who's all very knowledgeable and can help along the way.
Well, like I said, you taught me everything I know, and I feel like so often when I'm working with people and I tell them I can help them, they're often like, well, is Steph there? Because I just always am in your shadow, but I get it. You're the best. You've been in this field a long time. We are lucky to have you at North Star Credit Union. You're amazing leader for all of us here. And, even apart from what you do here, I know you're an amazing mother to your 3 kids, going through graduations and everything right now, running around. So we see that side of you too, and that's also very inspiring. So thanks for being with us today, Steph. We really enjoyed having you on the podcast. And to all of our listeners, thank you for being with us. Any final comments from anyone? Okay, well, that's a wrap. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Tune in Fridays for new episodes on Spotify, YouTube, and coming soon to Apple. Or find the link on our website, northstarcreditunion.org.